5 essential tips for writing your social media ads. All right, guys, this is about writing the text for those ads. So you've got to communicate well, and words are the key to making that happen. So social media advertising doesn't have to be a place where advertising dollars go to die. We've all been there. We've all made those mistakes, but it doesn't have to be that way. You've just got to know how to tweak it, how to follow the rules, and make those return on investments happen. So if you do want that ROI, just remember these 5 rules with writing your copy. Hi, I'm Rachel with WordsThatSellClasses.com. I write program descriptions that sell spots in class. I use words that compel parents to buy. So let's get started in that tip number 1. Write down that one objective. And yes, I said the one objective for that ad. Make it very specific. An example would be, click the learn more button and go to my landing page. Like, that might be your one objective, is to get them to go to that landing page so that you have a chance to, after they've said that yes, so they clicked, they're agreeable, and now you've got an opportunity to nurture that relationship and maybe ask for something a little bit more as you give them more information. So you need that one objective, and that one objective is not, I want people to like me, or I want to tell people what I do. That's not your one objective. Your one objective needs to be super simple, and it needs to be something that they can do right there with that Facebook ad in front of them. So something that they can click on to learn more, to reserve now, to join your group now. So it has to be very specific, and make sure you write down that one objective, because it's really easy to lose sight of that if you don't have it right in front of you. So here's that essential tip number 2. Who is your audience? You have to know who you're writing the ad for. Are they 25 to 35-year-old moms? Because you're looking at an early childhood type program, or maybe you're doing an activity that grandparents typically bring the kids to. So maybe your instructional activity is involving grandparents, or maybe it's even a program where you've noticed that grandparents are making a lot of the purchasing decisions for. So maybe you do a Facebook ad and you target them without necessarily saying it, but you know that the way that you have written that ad is going to appeal to that age group. Maybe your music for your video is something that is going to catch the ear of the grandparent as opposed to the 25-year-old mom of a preschooler. Is your audience middle-aged baseball dads, right? Depending on your program. Now, if I'm writing an ad that I know that 30-year-old moms are going to be listening to or reading, and then maybe listening to that video, I'm going to write the copy for that ad. I'm going to use lots of emojis, because I'm, like I said, talking to these 30-year-old moms, and this age group, they love to use emojis themselves on social media. And so that speaks to them. They feel that, and that communicates to them. If I'm writing something for middle-aged baseball dads of high school baseball players trying to get into D1 school to play ball, I'm not going to be using emojis, right? That's not going to speak to that particular audience. So define your audience first so that you know who you're talking to. Number 3, okay, quit talking about yourself. Let me tell you what I mean. When we think sales, we think, okay, if I want to sell something, I need to say, I have this for sale. I offer this service for sale. But that's actually not right. We want to make the story about the reader, not about I do this and I do that, but make the story about the reader. That can be a little bit tricky, because particularly on Facebook, you've got to stay away from that you and yours. For whatever reason in Facebook land, they don't like for you to call them out in the way that we in traditional marketing, we really like to call people out and get their attention. You have to be careful how you do that on Facebook. If they feel like you're doing too many you and yours, they will suppress your ad. And in some cases, it can, get where it's not approved at all. So you just have to be careful about that. And that does make it a little bit tricky, because if I can't write about me and I can't write about you, then how do I do it? And so that's why there is an example of a Facebook ad in the text area of this blog post. And so I'm going to remind you again at the end of the video, but I do recommend that after you kind of take in these tips, go check out those Facebook ads, long form and short form, in the text, and you can see some good examples. All right, number 4, use your personality, especially if you're working with people, working with kids. Make sure you use that personality so that comes through. Words are so powerful, guys. So, you can just really, really say so much with so little, just with the right words, the right pause, the right emoji. So make sure that your personality shows through, because guys, your 5th grade language arts teacher will not be grading your ad. So especially if you come from a really academic background, especially if you went to graduate school, or the more education they get, the more you have it pounded into our heads that we have to follow these specific grammar rules. But let's throw that out the window, and it's about communicating a feeling, and sometimes using clever grammar variations. See, I call them variations. Your language arts teacher calls that an error, but no, it's a variation. And sometimes using them in a clever way can really add personality to your ads, and it's a very essential component. Number 5, ask for the little yes. And here's why I call it a little yes. More than likely, you're not selling a $1,200 annual instructional contract via a Facebook ad. More than likely, you're doing something a little bit smaller. The little yes, the parents' night out, or let's say you have a league magnet, download 5 things every parent needs to know before choosing an art school, or 3 things every mom needs to know before they enroll their preschool dancer. So make sure that you've got a small, we're not trying to do a hard sell to a cold audience. That's a really big hurdle to get over. So we're looking for a little yes, so that we can then take that cold audience, warm them up, and show them how fabulous we are with our follow-up. And guys, make sure you ask for it in a clear and undeniable way. We spend so much time in our head that we know what we need. We know what we're asking for. We know what we do well. And sometimes we are so in our head that we forget to make that really clear to somebody else. So make sure that you do that. All right. In conclusion, before you hop off this page, read the copy in the long and short form versions of the Parents' Night Out ad that is in the text section of this blog below the video. That's going to kind of take everything that I've talked about and pull it together so that you can see it in action. And a Parents' Night Out, it's a low ticket item. It's a very small ask. It's a very small little yes that we are asking for from the parent. And also, why 2 versions? Why is there a long and a short? 2 reasons. A/B testing. That's when you create 2 ads slightly different, and then you watch the metrics to see how they perform. Or for retargeting. Let's say you start off with a long form ad, like 150 words, and it's, you feel like it's just not getting the response. Maybe people aren't reading all the way through. So then you retarget the people that saw that with a shorter version and see if that really tips them over your way. So that is why we create 2 versions of the same ad. And that's it, guys. That's it for this video. Feel free to send me questions, Rachel@wordsthatsellclasses.com. I love to get emails from instructors and studio bosses. If you're interested in more topics, go to wordsthatsellclasses.com, then click on the blog in the menu or watch the blog posts on YouTube. All right, guys. See you in the next video or on the next post. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.